is my absolute fave. It's called Sadie by Courtney Summers. I have a whole mix of different genres. I think they're all fiction because I don't really read non-fiction, but I want to get more into it. But there's fantasy, there's sci-fi, contemporary, chick lit, adult, young adult. So there's just a whole mix. But this one is my absolute favourite book. I really like finger tapping with this book because it makes such good sounds. I feel like finger tapping is so underrated. So this is a young adult mystery thriller, and I'll read the synopsis for you. When popular radio personality West McRae receives a desperate phone call from a stranger imploring him to find 19-year-old runaway Sadie Hunter, he's not convinced there's a story there. Girls go missing all the time. But as soon as West's boss discovers Sadie fled home after the brutal murder of her little sister, Maddie, he sees the makings of something big and orders West to the small town of Cold Creek, Colorado, to uncover what happened. Sadie has no idea that her story will soon become the subject of a blockbuster podcast. She just wants revenge. Armed with a switchblade, Sadie follows a meager set of clues, hoping they'll lead to the man who took Maddie's life, because she's determined to make him pay for it with his own. But as West traces her journey to the darkest, most dangerous corners of big cities and small towns, a deeply unsettling mystery begins to unfold, one that's bigger than them both. Can he find Sadie before it's too late? Alternating between Sadie's unflinching voice as she hunts the killer and the podcast transcripts tracking the clues she's left behind, Sadie is a breathless thriller about the lengths we go to protect the ones we love and the high price we pay when we can't. It will haunt you long after you reach the final page. I wouldn't recommend this to a lot of people. There's a lot of trigger warnings but it's just so good. It is written in two point of views. The first point of view is Sadie, and then the second point of view is the podcast, and it's actually written in like transcripts. And so the audiobook is amazing. It's so good because it's actually like listening to a podcast, and it has all like sound effects and stuff like that. is a recent favourite. I read it this year, and it's so good. I will say that about all of these books, they're just all incredible to me. I've noticed that a lot of the books that I read, I love books that take me to another world, or that are really cinematic in my head. If it involves transcripts or podcasts or graphic novels, or the way that it's written has cuts, abrupt cuts from one point of view to another, and then another, and then another, and has lots of twists and turns and stuff like that. It's like a movie in my head. I'm a film student, so I love movies, and anything that feels like a movie in my head, I love. So that's another one of what this is, and it's actually being turned into a TV series, a mini-series, so I'm so excited. Oh my god. But I will read the synopsis again. For a while, Daisy Jones and the Six were everywhere. Their albums were on every turntable. They sold their arenas from coast to coast. They sold out arenas from coast to coast. Their sound defined an era, and then, on the 12th of July, 1979, they split. Nobody ever knew why, until now. They were lovers and friends and brothers and rivals. They couldn't believe their luck until it ran out. This is their story of the early days and the wild nights, but everyone remembers the truth differently. The only thing they all know for sure is that from the moment Daisy Jones walked barefoot on the stage at the Whiskey, the band were irrevocably changed. Making music is never just about the music, and sometimes it can be hard to tell where the sound stops and the feelings begin. This book is so good. It's so good. It's so real and raw, and the relationships, and it made me feel all of the emotions. I was crying, I was laughing, I was angry. And like it says, this is written as a transcript for an author writing a book about the members of Daisy Jones and the Six. And it's retelling the band and how they got together, and then how Daisy Jones ended up joining in the relationships between the band and why they broke up. And again, trigger warnings for addiction. I like really tough stuff in books. But yeah, this book is so good. Something that's so underrated that I barely ever see anyone do is page tapping. Page tapping in books is so nice. next book I have is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. It's a bit dirty because I lent it to my brother to read. This is a fantasy / sci-fi book, and I love it so much. Victor and Eli started out as college roommates, brilliant, arrogant, lonely boys who recognized the same ambition in each other, a shared interest in adrenaline, near-death experiences, and seemingly supernatural events reveals an intriguing possibility that under the right conditions, someone could develop extraordinary abilities. But when their thesis moves from the academic to the experimental, things go horribly wrong. 10 years later, Victor breaks out of prison determined to catch up to his old friend, now foe, aided by a young girl with a stunning ability. Meanwhile, Eli is on a mission to eradicate every other superpowered person that he can find, aside from his sidekick, an enigmatic woman with an unbreakable will, armed with terrible power on both sides, driven by the memory of betrayal and loss. The arch-nemesis have set a course for revenge, but who will be left alive at the end? I'd recommend going into this book not knowing much other than that synopsis, because it's such a wild ride, and the way it's written is so amazing. But yeah, this book is so good, and I highly recommend it. It's adult, but it's still so easy to read. The chapters are really short, so you literally fly through it, and it's so hard to put down. It's just so good. Next book is actually a graphic novel, and it is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. In my assorted book triggers short video and in my inaudible reading video, I read Radio Silence by the same author, but this is a close friends, boys fall in love. So it's a LGBTQ book about two boys who fall in love, and it's all about sexuality and high school and mental health, and it just focuses on a lot of topics, but it's so cute and easy to read. It's such a fast read, and it's adorable, and I love it so much. This makes such good flipping noises. That's so nice. So far there is 3 volumes released, and the 4th one is coming this year, and I'm so excited for it. And like the art style is so cute. Wait, let me find a cute page. Like, it's so cute. A series, and that is the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. I'm not going to lie, this is a guilty pleasure series that I love. Critically, this series isn't the best. Like, the writing isn't the best, the story isn't the best, but it's a guilty pleasure. I love the characters so much, I love the world, and it's just so angsty, and I don't know, I love it. I'm not gonna lie, the first book I don't really like, but the second book specifically, I love A Court of Mist and Fury. That's when the series starts to get a lot better. But I'll read the synopsis for the first book. I was gonna say, oh, I forgot to do the synopsis for the last one, but there wasn't a synopsis. Anyway, Feyre is a huntress. She thinks nothing of slaughtering a wolf to capture its prey, but like all mortals, she fears what lingers mercilessly beyond the forest, and she will learn that taking the life of a magical creature comes at a high price. Imprisoned in an does of fighting, and his face is always masked, but his piercing stare draws her ever closer. As Feyre's feelings for Tamlin begin to burn her, through every warning she's ever been told about his kind and ancient wicked shadow grows. Feyre must find a way to break a spell or lose her heart forever. So yeah, it's not for everyone. This series is really polarizing. You either absolutely love it or you absolutely hate it, you loathe it, but I am the former. No. Is former before or after? Former and then latter. I think it's former. I don't know. We'll do a little bit more sounds. So, that was all the books I have to show for this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please give this video a big thumbs up, and subscribe for more ASMR videos. Every week, I'm going to be moving my schedule from 2 videos a week to 1 video a week. Some weeks, if I have more free time, I will post 2 videos a week, but with my job, it's kind of hard to consistently post 2 videos a week, so we'll see. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all had an amazing day or night, whatever time of day it is for you, and I'll see you on my next video.